So this is the third in the series of the new NGL VAO factories, and this demo is going to demonstrate the built-in index VAO. So with index buffers, what we have is an array of data. In this case, I've got vertices and colors, and we will then pass in a list of indices. So if we imagine that's vertex 0 there, vertex 1 and vertex 2, as we specify that, we go 0, 1, 2. For the next triangle, it will be 0, 1, 3, and so on. So we're sharing our vertex information as we're drawing it. This means that our overall buffer size can be smaller, but we do then need to generate a list of indices to pass to OpenGL to specify how our data is laid out. So what we have here in our NGL scene, as before, is pointer, std unique pointer to abstract VAO. Again, calls the destructor when it's finished, cleans up the buffers and so on. And again, we have a method called buildVAO, which will generate the VAO, and we must call this in the initialized GL in Qt, or once we've got a valid OpenGL context. And the data that I'm using in this, I've got from this link here, which is in the source code, so you can have a look. So what I've got is a std array called vert and color, and it's an array of NGL vec3s. There's 24 elements in this case, and you can see it's just pairs of vertex, vertex color, vertex, vertex color, vertex, vertex color. And it's a nice small array. There are less vertices and colors than there are triangles that I will draw. Next, I've got the array of indices. So for our first triangle, we have index 0, followed by index 6, index 1. Our next one, index 0, 11 and 6, 1, 4 and 0, and so on. So this is basically indexing into this data here. So we're going to create our VAO again. So we call to the factory, pass in SimpleIndexVAO and GL triangles, and now you'll see that we've got a slightly different setup than the previous set data, because SimpleIndexVAO has a different vertex structure. So if we have a quick look at that, you'll see now that the constructor for this actually has extra parameters passed in, and we have a pointer to our data and a pointer to our indices, which are stored there. And you can see that basically we've got our buffer and our index type, which is stored as well. So when we set this, all of the data is passed through. So we've got basically our vertex size and our vertex color there, and we've got our indices passed in. We then need to set our vertex attribute pointers as previously. So in this case, my shade is slightly different from the previous examples, that it's just using basic colors. So I've got location 0 is our input vertex, location 1 is our input color. So I'm saying 0 has 3 elements of type float, there's 24 of them, and there is no offset. And the next one is input 1, 3, 24 again, and our offset is 3. Set the size of our data, indices.size, unbind our array, and again, drawing is exactly the same as the previous examples. We bind, we draw, we unbind, and this gives us our nice little data in there. As with the simple VAO, the simple index VAO, if we were to call before.